He's wearing a throwback Mike Schmidt. As a matter of fact, you cannot spell Phillippe without Philly.
That's right.
Ryan Phillippe, good to see you here.
Good to see you.
Is that the first time you've ever heard that? It kind of hit me that your first 6 letters of your last name is Philly.
Yeah, I've never heard someone else say it, but it's something I've thought in my head so many times.
So now you've got this Schmidt throwback. From what year is this throwback?
I believe it's a 79. Should I show the back of it?
Sure,
or show
you
the
stand
zip
up and throw it. Okay, you got the back of it.
It's a really unique throwback in that
Yeah.
it's like a zip up.
It
so
zips.
they used to wear these.
This is like they used to zip up their jerseys?
Yeah, like. Yeah.
Did they really used to zip? That's incredible.
Because I went online once I bought this and found photos of the players wearing those same jerseys.
Was Schmidt your guy growing up? Is that where you were growing up? Or
he kind of was, yeah.
Or did he predate you a little bit? Or
no, not at all. Because 1980, I was 6 years old, and I remember I was staying up way past my bedtime. I remember hiding behind a piece of furniture so my parents wouldn't see me, so I could watch some of that World Series. And of course, that was Carlton and Mike Schmidt.
The Wheeze kids, right? Wasn't that what they were called? Because Rose was on the team, and wasn't Joe Morgan on this Phillies team?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Instead of the Whiz kids, they were the Wheeze kids because they were so old.
Right.
But they were all just dynamic.
Yeah.
Schmidt is just one of the all-time greats.
He is, man. He is.
You know, it's funny. Schmidt, the first sportscast I ever did in my life, my entire life, Ryan, I got to tell you this about Mike Schmidt, was in summer camp at Trails End Camp in Beach Lake, Pennsylvania, And I woke up before Reveille, and I got my ducks in a row. I got all my information. I don't know how the hell I got it because it was way before internet.
How old were you?
Gosh, I had to have been about this. It might have been 1980. It might have been right around then. I might have been about 10, 11. Okay, really young kid, and I just wanted to be the sportscaster. And they're like, "Fine, you could do the sports before." Like when you wake up, the whole camp, you do the sports on the loudspeaker. The whole camp heard it. And Mike Schmidt hit a home run before, and I was so nervous, I forgot to say the M in Mike Schmidt's last name. So that's the word I said on. Okay. And I was one and done because they thought I was just like using my platform to screw around.
Oh, they thought you were doing like that.
It was my first and last.
That's funny. They thought like Howard Stern sent you or something.
Yeah, that's just like I was baba-booing Trails End Camp.
That's great.
But I just misspoke because I was so nervous.
Yeah. And also, he was kind of a tough guy. Like, his personality was a little terse, I would say.
Oh, well, I mean, that's why Philly probably loved him.
Yeah.
And one of the many reasons why Philly loved him.
He was a gamer and would get dirty. And that's what was great about that squad, because you had Charlie Hustle. You know, and a lot of the great Philly squads, even when Dykstra had his time of prominence there, like, it's that down and dirty, like tough as nails mentality that Philly fans love.
They do love that. They definitely relate to it. Now, are you a Villanova person too, or no, not really?
Yeah, I was. I love all of the teams from that area. I also remember the Villanova-Georgetown NCAA final from my youth, and that stayed with me because I was in high school, I think, then. So, yeah, I mean, this year in Philly sports, and when we had the Sixers in the playoffs, it was amazing, man, to go from the Super Bowl, the Flyers were in the playoffs, the Sixers were in the playoffs, Villanova wins the NCAA, Phillies are 2.5 games out of first. It's a good time to be a Phillies fan.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's the reason why I'm bringing it up. Again, Shooter premiered last Thursday, season 3 on USA Network, which you can catch every single Thursday night, including tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. You have to excuse me. I don't even know what the hell day it is anymore.
That's fine. I was up till 2 in the morning playing beer pong with Post Malone, so I'm a little out of it, too.
Wait, what?
Which, by the way, I had no idea the amount of rules, the complexity of the rules, the etiquette of beer pong. See, I didn't have the collegiate fraternity experience, so this is all new to me. So they're teaching me last night all of these beer pong terms and rules.
Okay,
you know
so
this?
I think we need to start from scratch here. You were playing beer pong with
Post Malone.
Where was this?
It was in between. It was before and after his show at the Hollywood Bowl.
And how do you know him?
I've known him for about 3 years. I directed a couple videos for Post, but I met him 3 years ago when White Iverson, his first single, was out, and nobody knew who he was. Everyone was predicting he'd be a one-hit wonder. He had no tattoos. In fact, it's on my Instagram today, the photo of when he and I first met, and then from last night. And last night, you see the tattoos all over his face and hands and everything. So it's funny to see how a guy can go from, no unknown to a superstar in 3 years in music. It's crazy.
Okay, so the beer pong.
That's what he likes to do
rules.
to relax before and after the show. Like literally, he was playing in a beer pong match against my friends, and he goes, "Oh, I got to get ready." 5 minutes before his show's starting.
Right.
So 10 minutes later, he's on stage singing. The show ends. Back to the beer pong. That's his vibe.
All right, so let's take a 60-second break, and we'll come back, and then we'll get into this beer pong rules, and we'll dig in deeper. And then obviously, you know, your Eagles win the championship. That's why I brought up Villanova. I mean, it is a great time to be a Philly sports fan, especially if in the next week LeBron James joins that scene, which I think is entirely possible.
Your lips to God's ears.
Okay,
Rich.
Brian Phillippe of Shooter, Season 3 on USA, back at 60 seconds. All right, welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. We were about to go down a little bit more of a Philly sports wormhole with Ryan Phillippe of USA Network Shooter, but then you stopped us all on the track saying that you were playing beer pong last night after the Hollywood Bowl show of rapper Post Malone, who you've known for 3 years. So what are the rules? Because I think everybody's games of beer pong have different rules. I don't think there's any hard and fast rules.
I think there's some pretty official rules.
Okay.
And in fact, like I went on the internet this morning so I could refresh myself.
Okay.
And so I could remember some of the terms.
Okay.
But yeah, I think there is a standardized way to play. And also my playing is sort of a misnomer. I was more of the line judge. Post was demanding that I check people's elbows. There's this whole thing where the elbows can't cross the table, the wrists can't. These guys were very serious about it. Like I said, we were putting money down. I think the pot got up to $1,000.
Oh my God!
But there's this whole thing like rebuttals. Like so, if you win the game, then the other team, it's like up to you if you're the winner to give the other team an opportunity to kind of sort of challenge back. There's all these sort of gentlemen's requests about changing the shapes of the cups as the games progress.
Now, see, it's been a while. Brockman, when was the last time you played beer pong? It's been a while for me.
Probably a year ago.
See, no, it seems like things have advanced. Like
I
the
think
game,
so.
I think technology might be better in terms of the plastic of the cups. Might be a little bit more forgiving. You know,
I heard
don't
there's
know.
leagues, like professional leagues. Do you know about that?
I don't.
Yeah, and I think that's why these rules had to be sort of determined.
Now, if it was there anybody, I guess, reason why I'm asking this, shooting this with any phone, because that way instant replay could be brought into. Was there any video assisted refereeing?
I took a lot of video. I think that's where it gets a little more informal. You know, you kind of go, you kind of turn to the gallery, and then there's a consensus arrived upon. But I think that's one of the places where the rules get.
Was anybody trying to influence your line judging at all?
Post was absolutely, and because it was his concert, he kept saying that. He goes, "This is my concert. If I say it's out, it's out." You know, it's like, and then you kind of have to throw up your hands.
Okay, so now, where did you take in the Super Bowl this year? Were you in Minnesota, or were you not?
No, I had the opportunity to go to Minnesota, but we were in production on the series, and I was still healing from a broken leg last summer.
Right.
So it seemed a little arduous, especially with the cold. And I like watching in the comfort of my home. I feel like you can analyze the game better. Live, it seems to go by so quickly. And I like to know the intricacies and nuances of who's hurt, whether they're coming back into the game, all of those things that you kind of miss when you're there watching it live.
And so what did it mean to you? I mean, who did you call? What did it mean to you?
I was sitting with my 14-year-old son, watching the game throughout with only a couple. I didn't want too many people because I didn't want distractions. I wanted only people, football-minded, focused people.
You're talking Brockman's language over there.
Yeah, I'm not going to one of those parties where you're explaining the game to casual fans or people don't understand the importance, And so I watched it in my theater. And even with the broken leg at the end of the game, I'm jumping. I have video of that, and I left the ground. I was like 2 feet off the ground at the end of that game, and it's unforgettable. And also to have your son right there with you. And then we got on the phone with my dad back east and FaceTiming with him. My dad's got tears, and he's not the type of guy to cry, but he's been waiting for this moment for 70 years, It's really special when it does happen. And the most emotionally affected I got was watching the parade. And Jason Kelsey's speech was unbelievable.
With his mummer's gear?
But even before they got to that, seeing the people of Philadelphia, knowing what it meant to the mentality of the city, to the future of the city in some ways, that really struck me. Just knowing how desperately the people wanted it.
You look like you're getting a little choked up.
I could if I talked about it
By the
too
way,
long.
he's got a little bit of a touch of the Vermeil right here.
Touch of the Vermeil.
He's getting a touch of the Vermeil.
I'll take that. That's a compliment.
Touch of the Vermeil talking about your Eagles winning the whole damn thing.
Hey, next week,
Yes.
I'm getting to go to the facilities and take a photo holding the Lombardi. My son and I are going to go.
Come
Well, I
on.
cannot wait, man. I cannot. That is going to be all over Instagram.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah.
tweet
awesome.
us a photograph
I
of
will
that.
absolutely do that.
So you're going to go there and just hang. I guess it's kind of all quiet right now before everybody comes back together.
Yeah, they get back into the offices on the 9th. The trophy actually gets engraved on the 12th, and so we're going to try to see it on the 10th or 11th before they send it out.
Pre-engraving.
Yeah, pre-engraving.
Pre-engraving Lombardi hold.
They offered me the option to get one of the rings. It was a Philly special ring, but it's meant to look like the real Eagles Super Bowl ring.
Well, the real McCoy is probably it's a little bit more than whatever beer pong was had on the table last
yeah,
night.
sure, yeah.
You know,
But hey, you said to me back in the dressing room how much you love Doug.
I love Peterson.
And
I love
what
him.
a call, man. The Philly special.
Well, the part about the thing, because and while we're also on the subject of all things Philadelphia, right across the river
I've
there.
just co-opted the Rich Eisen show.
No. In Mount Laurel, New Jersey, where NFL Films resides, which is technically, I mean, it's practically a Philly institution as well,
Yeah,
based
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
the
Sables
Sable
and all that.
family,
And
yeah.
John Facendo was a broadcaster there for so many years.
Harry Callis.
Harry Callis. That the fact that they had the moment that was revealed that it was Foles who suggested it, and that the backstory being that they had it keyed up against Minnesota. They had it keyed up and ready for Minnesota, and obviously they didn't need to use it because of the score.
Right.
The fact that at that moment that Peterson calls timeout, and I thought at the time they had called timeout because they were going to do what virtually every other team does against New England, which is settle for the three, got to take the points. And you play into New England's hands when you do that all the time. The fact that he calls timeout and Foles is the one who goes up to him and suggests the play, and Peterson pauses for a second, and he goes, all right.
Yeah.
That's why he's such a terrific
The
coach.
casual nature of that interaction blows my mind. And he's big balls Doug, man. That's what we call him back home. That's
I mean, he's got it, and you need that not only to beat New England on a stage like that, but also to succeed in Philadelphia. He's called in the show a couple of times. I've gotten to have conversations with him, away from a camera or phone.
Yeah. And the
He's
team
a
loves
person.
him.
He's a person.
The team loves him, and I think that's one of the most crucial aspects of coaching in sports is, the guys believe in your program.
Right.
The guys like who you are and the way you treat them. And then you get good results.
All right, in the few minutes we have left here to chat, Ryan Phillippe here on the Rich Eisen Show. Shooter, Season 3 premiered a couple of Thursdays ago, and you can catch it tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on USA Network. So, LeBron coming to your squad.
Yeah.
What do you think here?
I mean, it's the most exciting notion. You were talking about one of the greatest basketball players ever to play the game. I think we'd be a title contender immediately. Absolutely, I've heard that he looked at schools for his kids in Philly, but there's so many rumors. It's hard to part, but we're gonna know very soon.
I know we are. I know. Hey, look, Kobe played high school basketball in the area. Kind of turned out well for him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I think when it's all said and done, he's going to look around the landscape, and we played the soundbite in our first hour of our show while you were driving here from Maverick Carter, who's LeBron's longtime friend and business partner, and he's locked in. He was here last November, and he said he's going to go to a place where he can win. That's it. That's what he wants to do. Winning is what sells everything else. And what's the best opportunity to win? To me, it is leaving Golden State for last. So that means the East.
Yeah.
And what is his best opportunity to win in the East? I don't think the Celtics are going to be available for him to go to.
No.
Who has the ability to win now?
The Philadelphia 76ers.
I'm serious. I mean, out of everybody else that has a roster already made with young players he can grow around, with a legacy. I mean, here in Los Angeles, he'd be one of many Lakers. There, he would be up, he's up
He'd
there.
be Pete Rose in a lot of ways.
Just like that in a way, yeah.
Yeah.
But Dr. J, Allen Iverson, I mean, in terms of guys who won it all. I mean,
and
there's not.
the players that we already have there have variant styles to his, and I think would complement his very well. I think they'd be such a fun and exciting team to watch because we have great ball movement already, and the way that Ben Simmons can dish and handle. I'd love to see the two of them passing back and forth to each other. Would be nuts.
Him and Embiid too.
Yeah, just to finish it every time.
I know.
Alley-oops from LeBron to Embiid, that's like a dream.
If there was only a burner account that could give us some insight into what might happen.
We got rid of that. Had to go. So that was one of the weirdest sports stories in a long time.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
I mean, yeah, it is. And now the general manager's position is available for maybe them to hire the guy who was the GM when LeBron won it all for David Griffin. I mean, there's a lot of dots
the way
to
you're
connect.
thinking.
All right, before I let you go, let's talk Shooter again.
Yes,
1
sir.
week ago tonight is when season 3 premiered. What do you expect in season 3? I mean, we talked a little bit with the television audience, but now the radio audience is here about Shooter season 3.
Well, the thing I love most about our show is that each episode feeds directly into the next. It moves very quickly, and so you get a lot of bang for your hour that you choose to watch our show. And the action's relentless. Every single episode, we've got something that's going to surprise you, something that you didn't expect, and it's a great cast. Omar and Cynthia and Chantel. Even though Omar's a Cowboys fan,
That's about to say, yeah.
But actually, Omar was here recently promoting his book.
He was, and he mentioned how much he was trusting Jerry Jones to get the roster right because he has a track history on that front.
It's funny.
Our Twitter feed kind of lit up when he said that.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, a little bit.
It's funny how Eagles fans and Cowboys fans kind of hate the respective the opposite teams, but he and I like each other so much that we kind of set it aside. We kind of who did the Cowboys pick up? Oh, that'll be good for your team. We act like
civility.
Exactly.
Hashtag be best.
Game of the week.
There you go. That's what we're talking about here. So you guys put that aside on the set of Shooter.
Yeah, we do. We talk
good.
a lot of football. We talk a lot of football and a lot of old school hip hop, a lot of hip hop in general. I remember when the Pusha T disc came out, we were on set listening to it on my phone, like two little kids, like, oh my God, can you believe he said that?
Fantastic.
In between takes. But yeah, he and I get along really well. And his book, From Fatherless to Fatherhood, is excellent. It's a great read for dads.
Yeah, we that's what he was here talking about, promoting self-published, which is no joke, man.
He's an impressive dude, Omar.
No joke, right? So again, premiered last Thursday, June 21st. It airs Thursdays, 10 p.m. Eastern on USA Network. And
yes, sir.
This being a Thursday, we'll see you tonight.
Let's watch it tonight.
Thanks for coming back, man.
Anytime, Rich.
Please do. So you have a what? Mitch Williams next time? You'll wear. I'll
wear my Wild Thing jersey.
What else you got? What else is that? That's part of your wardrobe.
Yeah,
Mitch Williams.
Yeah, I've got a Mitch, and mostly I have Eagles jerseys. I have Mike Quick, and I've got I've got Reggie White jerseys.
All right.
I'll switch it up. I'll surprise you.
Very good. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you
You
too.
Got it. At Ryan Phillippe on Twitter, and that's also your Instagram handle as well. Yep. Okay, check it out.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.